It may be that you were given a solution before anyone helped you understand the actual problem. You're listening to It's Your Turn with Shari Berry. I'm Shari, a national board certified health and wellness coach, best-selling author, speaker, and creator of the Calm Method. Each week, this show is about taking your turn in midlife, embracing new purpose, new passions, and new possibilities. New episodes drop weekly, so be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now, let's get started. I want you to think about a cabinet in your house for a moment. It may be the one in the kitchen or in the bathroom, or it might be that shelf with the things that you've tried. The collagen powder you used for 3 months, the blend of different supplements someone recommended, the magnesium for sleep, which helped a little, maybe. What about the hormone support supplement, the gut health protocol, the adrenal support drops, the probiotic you're still taking because you can't remember if it's working, but you're too afraid to stop? Now look around the rest of your house, your office, maybe your phone or your computer. What about the workout program you bought and did it for 6 weeks and stopped? Or the app subscription that still quietly is charging your credit card? What about the vibration plate over in the corner of the office that you used religiously for a month, and then it became a very expensive place to lay your books? Maybe the red light therapy panel someone swore would change your skin and your energy and your sleep, or that infrared sauna blanket. What about the cold plunge tub you bought during a particular motivated January? I want to be really clear about something before we go any further. I'm not saying these things don't work. Some of these have real evidence behind them for specific purposes. And they may be like the vibration plates have promising research for balance, bone density, and muscle function, particularly in older adults. Or the red light therapy has emerging evidence for skin and inflammation support. Some supplements are backed by solid science, but many are not. I use some of these things myself, but I look at the evidence that supports it. What I am saying is that there is evidence that exists. It almost always says these tools work best as additions to a foundation that's already in place, not as replacements for it. But the industry sells them like they're the foundation. And that's the madness I want to talk about today here. A 2026 study this year found that Americans are spending an average of $2,300 a year on gym memberships and supplements alone. Now, that's not spa treatments or red light panels or the vibration plate. That's just memberships and bottles. And that number is not surprising to me because I've watched women spend that and more, myself included. Not because we're foolish, but because we're looking for answers. And it could be that the answers the medical system maybe never gave us. And what happened is the wellness industry has stepped into that gap and offered us something. Sometimes that something helps. Often it doesn't stick. And when it doesn't, the industry is very good at making you feel like the problem is you. And I'm here to say it isn't. I want you to think about this number for a minute, and I'll explain it here. $6.8 trillion. $6.8 trillion is the current size of the global wellness economy, according to the Global Wellness Institute. To put it in perspective, that's bigger than the green economy, bigger than IT, bigger than global tourism. And it's on track to reach nearly $10 trillion by 2029, according to this research. Now, I'm not saying wellness is bad. I've built my career in it. But I am saying that when an industry is that big, not everyone is motivated by your health. Some of it is motivated by the gap that exists between what the medical system can offer you in 15 minutes and what you actually need. And that gap is real. The system has not served midlife women well. So when a woman is exhausted and dismissed and looking for answers, the wellness industry rushes in. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. And we have to remember this. We may be scrolling on our phones, and when we look at something, especially related to wellness, then everything in our algorithm starts to show us all these products. And I just want to bring awareness to this because there are some other things that are happening in it. The New York Times recently investigated an AI-generated deep fake wellness influencers here. They were fake experts with fabricated credentials and compelling before and after stories built entirely by algorithms, selling supplements and programs to women who had nowhere else to turn. Think about that for a minute. On your scroll, what are you seeing? The industry sells the easy thing because the system never gave you time for the true thing. So today, I hope you understand here, if you've tried a supplement that didn't work, a program that didn't stick, a diet that lasted 3 weeks and then collapsed, this is not a character flaw, and it's not a lack of discipline. That is not proof that nothing will ever work for you. It may be that you were given a solution before anyone helped you understand the actual problem. And the actual problem for most midlife women is not a true one thing. It's not a nutrient deficiency or the wrong workout. Many times it has to do with the nervous system that has been running on high alert for years in a body that is going through a significant hormonal transition with no real map for how those two things interact. The wellness industry sells you the destination without the map. And then when you don't arrive, it sells you a different destination. So I want to just share with you some education on how the stress hormone loop works and what it could potentially look like. And before I go into this, I want to put the disclaimer here that I am not a physician or a medical professional giving medical advice. I'm a health coach trying to help you understand the education behind your behavior, what habits you create, what thoughts you may be having with it, and really give you the confidence that you can find the right resources that work for you. And building that foundation level is important. So if you have any concerns at all, please seek medical advice. Talk to your physician about this or your practitioner, health practitioner, and discuss this. And look, I know the gap is there. 15-minute appointments are part of an insurance system right now that has driven doctors to have that payment model. And it's difficult. The hospital systems are all pushing it. And that's a whole nother podcast. So I won't get into that. I just want you to know I'm living it in real time too on both sides. So let me give you the actual map, or at least a beginning of it. So you start to maybe put these things together that no one's explained to you before. There's a loop that a lot of midlife women are stuck inside without knowing it. And it goes like this. First of all, I want to talk about chronic stress because there was a time where stress was something we felt, and then we had some period of time to recover. But most women in midlife are carrying a level of low grade chronic stress that has become so familiar, it doesn't even register as stress anymore. It just feels like Tuesday. But underneath that, your body is running its stress response, and that means cortisol. Now, cortisol is your stress hormone, and it does not affect just how you feel in a moment of pressure. It affects how your body stores fat, particularly around the midsection. It affects how your body handles blood sugar. It affects your sleep. It affects your mood. It affects your immune system. Cortisol is not a contained response. It touches everything. And when cortisol is chronically elevated, your blood sugar becomes very unstable. And unstable blood sugar is behind a lot of things women in midlife attribute to other causes. So we think the afternoon crash, the cravings that feel like personal failure, the irritability that comes out of nowhere, or the inability to sleep through the night, even when you're exhausted. It's all connected. Disrupted sleep then affects your hormones, which affects your stress response, which keeps those cortisol levels elevated, which affects your blood sugar, which disrupts your sleep. Do you see this? It's a loop. It's not a series of separate problems. It's one loop. And this is the thing no supplement targets because no supplement can. You cannot bottle your way out of a chronic stress response. You have to interrupt the loop itself. And so I want to bring in a reframe here, something that changes how you look at this. And you can really think about feeling that you have control of this. Now, we may know what we need to do, but doing it is another thing. And I'm going to have something for you at the very end. I'm going to share with you. But this is where we want to talk about. So if the wellness industry isn't the answer, what is? And I want to offer you a different way of thinking about your health because I don't want you to think of this as a checklist to complete or a program to follow perfectly. I want you to think of this as a panel. And I share this inside the workshops that I do, the speaking that I do, the programs that I have, because when you see this panel, it has a bunch of dials on it. And these are the foundation blocks that your well-being is built on. Every single one of them is something you have influence over. Nutrition, movement, sleep, stress reduction, sunshine, relationships and your connection, time management, gut health, financial security, hormone therapy when it's appropriate, medical care, mental health, beliefs, hydration, your environment, physical space, purpose and meaning, and body literacy, the practice of actually listening to what your body is telling you. Now, these are not separate categories. They are all dials on the same panel. And the thing about those dials, you don't sell them once and walk away or set them once and walk away. You check them. You adjust them. Sometimes you have to dial something up because life pulled it down. Sometimes what works in October doesn't work in March. This is not a set it and forget it approach because life is not a set it and forget it experience. You will travel, you will get sick, a family member will need you, a work project will consume you for 3 weeks. You will have a celebratory weekend where the food and the sleep and the movement all go sideways. And something that was dialed in beautifully will get knocked off. This is not failure. That is life. The difference, and I hope you'll hear this today, is that when you know your dials, when you understand what moves them and what your baseline feels like, you can recognize when something shifts and you can find your way back. It may take time and it will not look the same every time, but you are not starting from zero. You are adjusting. And that is a completely different experience than feeling like everything has fallen apart and you don't know how to fix it. The wellness industry wants you to believe that the answer is a product. The truth is the answer is inside you. It is understanding your own dials well enough that no disruption can ever completely take you off the map. And there's one more layer I want to name because I think this is the most important one. And it's the one that you can understand the loop. You can know every step of it. You can beat yourself up and say, I know what to do. Why am I not doing it? And you can still not change anything because underneath this biology is belief. Belief that your body is working against you, that you've tried everything and nothing works, that this is just what getting older feels like and you need to accept it. You cannot lifestyle choice your way out of a belief that you have no control. The belief has to shift first. And the belief I want to offer you today is the one I've watched change everything for the women I work with. Your body is not the enemy. It's not failing you. It is responding to what it's been given. And that means the things you actually have influence over, how you sleep, how you nourish yourself, how you move, how you respond to stress, those things matter more than any product ever sold to you. So, stepping here, I'm going to give you a couple of things. One is I'm not going to give you a 7-step system today. I'm just going to give you one thing. I'm going to offer you to pick one small, repeatable stress response practice and do it 5 days this week or the rest of the week. Just try it for a few days. It's not a complete overhaul, not a new routine, just one moment in your day where you deliberately interrupt that stress response. This is part of getting tuned back into learning to listen to your body. It could be 2 minutes of slow breathing before you check your phone in the morning. It could be a consistent wind down time before bed, even if it's just 10 minutes with no screens, just getting connected, closing your eyes. It could be a 3-breath pause before you answer someone's request. That's one lever, 1 week, and that is enough. So thinking about that, if this episode or this talk we had today is really hitting where you feel like this is true for me, I have a couple of resources for you. One is I put together a 5-minute stress release and reset. It's an audio version. It's a short guided pause for your nervous system that you can use anywhere. I've had people tell me, oh my gosh, I'm really reaching for that a lot. And that's the thing. It's a practice. Let's build that muscle. Let's adjust that dial. So that is one thing. It's going to be in the show notes, and give it a try. Let it be the first thing. The other thing is, before you go, I want to tell you about something I've been working on. There are two things. And if you've been listening to this show and thinking, this is exactly what's happening to me, I built a free live training that's going to be coming up called Steady Again. And it's happening Tuesday, August 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll spend an hour on three things: why food affects you differently now, why muscle matters more than anything else in decades ahead, and why rest isn't something you earn at the end of the day. And if you want to keep the momentum going after that hour, I'll also share a little about Nourish You Live. It's a way to actually build this into your September with me. Now, Steady Again is free. It's live. And if you can't make it, I'll send you the replay. You can grab your spot at sharibeery.com/steady-again. I'll put that in the show notes, and I'd love to see you there. So I want to thank you for spending time with me today. And if this is something that is really resonating with you, these conversations, I told you at the very beginning of starting this podcast that I was going to start out with solo episodes. I'm already building some guest people or guest appearances with people coming in the future. But share this with a friend or that woman in your life who you know needs to hear it. And that's really how this movement of taking your turn gets to grow for everyone. So a couple other places you can find me at Substack. I publish the podcast over there. I also write articles over there. And always remember, if you haven't taken the Midlife Spark Type quiz, that'll be in the show notes too. Until next time, keep taking your turn.